Welcome to the Miscellaneous TAP.
He's going to get his ass with the dirty of my ass.
We're going to do a wrestling series.
I hope you know what you're doing.
Yes, it's a series on wrestling.
Yeah, so I'm just supposed to trust the son of a bitch?
I don't know how long it's going to be. I don't know how long it's going to take. But it's going to be awesome.
If he tries to screw me in any way, shape, or form, whatever, it ain't just going to be his ass. It's going to be your ass, too. And that's the bottom line.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is Al.
And this is Prozacmethius.
And we are on TAP. Today we're at a bar in Illinois, and we have our bartender TJ here. She's going to be joining us every once in a while.
Hi, TJ.
Hello.
TJ, before we start the show off, can I get a nice cold drink? Can you frost the mug, please?
Would you like it somewhere in particular?
Yeah. It's my mom.
TJ, I'll take a beer.
I think it's just going to be beer tonight. I don't think we're going to get anything else out of her. Whatever's on draft.
Are we going to even get a drink out of TJ because she said something? And this is why we come here, though. TJ's the best. And she has no filter. Which reminds me of Al. And this show. What's on tap? What's on tap? Today is about wrestling.
Words cannot do this justice. Oh, no. To win the Royal Rumble. Oh, my God. WrestleMania Street. The DX side. Second. At WrestleMania.
These days, they call it sports entertainment, but I'm old school. I call it wrestling.
When did you first start getting into wrestling?
My first time getting into wrestling, it's the stuff that used to come on TBS, the NWA. Used to come on TBS, Ric Flair and the Road Warriors. That's what I remember in my mind, Ric Flair and the Road Warriors.
So around what year?
This would have been, if I would have to guess, 85, 86.
I was gonna say, so you were like, what, 11, 12 years old?
Yeah.
That was the same time us. And all of our friends. They had the thumb wrestling fucking wrestlers.
Yeah, right.
With thumb wrestlers, it's just like being in a wrestling ring. With Hulk Hogan and Roddy Piper, Junkyard Dog and Bulldog. Hulk in the Iron Sheik.
Okay, kids, back to class.
Wrestle anywhere with wrestling superstars, thumb wrestlers.
You had the
thumb wrestling.
Yeah, you had like the Stretch Armstrong wrestlers.
Yeah.
And you had like these stuffed like little thing of
Stuff
wrestlers.
like pillows. Yeah.
God, y'all made me feel old.
Yeah.
You know why?
Why?
I've been watching longer than that. I got into wrestling when they were still doing wrestling at the Chase in St. Louis.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Wow.
I have no concept of that.
So
I can't
TJ, from
relate.
a woman's perspective, do you think it's actually sports entertainment, or you just like watching a bunch of muscle-bound guys touching each other?
I just like watching them beat the shit out of each other.
And you like it because they're in their underwear, right? Spray on cans.
Oiled bodies.
No, I've been watching this. Remember back in the days when it was the big fat guys wrestling and everything, you know? And then you got the guys that were not in shape.
Oh, yeah, what's the guy
they are
back
now.
High style and a profiling.
Now, remember when Hulk Hogan wrestled Andre the Giant?
Yes, I do.
And picked him up?
Yes.
That was my That was my
Never
best friend's
forget.
16th birthday. We were having a party at my house to watch it, and I broke my mom's living room chair and got my ass whooped for a week.
What?
Look, I can tell you where I was at that day because it was a big moment in time. I was there at WrestleMania 3 when Hulk Hogan slammed Andre the Giant. I was at home. They really had pay-per-views back then. I mean, some people had. We didn't afford pay-per-views.
That was on TV, national TV.
Yeah, but they did it. They interrupted the local news. That's how big wrestling was. And they showed highlights of WrestleMania 3. And I thought it was the greatest thing ever.
Was this about the same time you discovered yourself?
No.
I was going to say something more harsh, but okay.
No.
TJ, set us up with shots.
Yeah. Need some shots after that one comment. But no, it was the greatest thing ever because I actually thought Hulk Hogan's championship was in jeopardy with Andre the Giant, the eighth wonder of the world. That got me into the WWF. But like I say, I was watching the NWA stuff on TBS because that was like local 605. You know, 605, you gotta watch it. It was the greatest thing. And like I say, I would go to school, I was Road Warrior Hall, my buddy was Road Warrior Ammo, we were just wrestling. You know, back then you could wrestle and all that tussle. It was the greatest thing.
With all the Warriors and Hulkamaniacs, you guys are in a lot of trouble.
So I could go all different eras of professional wrestling. Now, if you guys had to pick, which one was your best? You know, NWA, WWF, or how would you compare both of them.
I remember getting into wrestling when it was the debut of The Undertaker at Survivor Series.
There is only one Undertaker.
Yeah.
He was $1 Million Man's mystery partner.
Yes, you point. Yeah.
And
That was
then,
awesome.
what was it, a year later, he ended up beating Hulk Hogan for the title?
Yeah.
Yep.
Attitude Era was the best era.
Yes. Attitude Era with DX, Stone Cold.
If you're ready for WrestleMania, give me a hell yeah.
That's where they're all doing the suck it.
Yeah.
That was the best era ever.
Who remembers Sable's bikini contest?
Ooh.
God.
Handprints.
Sable was great, but
Yeah,
y'all-
yeah.
It was paint.
but mine was Sunny, y'all. I just loved Sunny. She made my day so sunny. It was just great. You know, I had plenty of posters, and like I say, I was 35 at the time, and I had posters.
How many of you have actually been to an event?
Oh, I have. I'm a little cheesy with the event because I go to my kid mode, and I have to catch myself sometimes because I have the signs.
I've been to a few events. I went when they did a big event in Dupo for the flooding.
Okay.
We had all the flooding. Mm-hmm. And I got in a fight with Luna Vachon at the wrestling
Look,
event.
Sean ain't no joke.
And I was 9 months pregnant.
Wow.
And got in a fight with her.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Prozac, what the hell's that in your pocket, man?
Oh, actually, it's a lottery ticket.
Lottery ticket for the state of Illinois, you know you can't win anything, right?
Shit,
I didn't know that. I forgot about that. Yeah, I forgot about that. They're going to stop that pretty soon.
Wait, what?
They're going to stop that.
They're
Yeah.
stopping the lottery.
Yeah, you got to go to
Mega
Missouri.
Millions.
Illinois? Why?
They got to get their finances together.
Yep.
Because
Because
the
of
last
what?
person that won had to wait like 2 years.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're broke.
And they say they don't want that. So they're making them get their finances in order. So now we got to go across the river to get out.
Not to change topics or anything. I mean, we got some alcohol in us now. We're feeling good. But on a political side, how many of us that live in this state of Illinois actually feel like the state's telling us to pick up stakes and leave?
Wagons East.
Are we there yet?
Yeah.
Yep.
But then you know how much money they're going to lose? Miss out on this lottery? I can almost, if I had to guesstimate, $80 million a year.
Yeah.
If I had to guesstimate. Because that's a lot of money. Hell, they get about $100 a week from me.
Wait. I can't say nothing because I buy scratchers every day.
Yeah.
But scratchers are keeping.
I know, but I buy
I
this
just
every
don't
day.
understand why are we not so pissed off we're going to walk up to those politicians and smack them on the nose and go, no.
Yeah.
The Chicago political machine.
Like, Chicago owns political race for the state of
Well, yeah,
Illinois.
they sell it to mobsters.
Yeah.
I mean, fuck, they even got caught
Hey,
doing
Bob
it.
Funkulo, motherfucker.
So far into debt.
Yep.
Right.
We are the most broke state there is.
We're worse than Detroit.
You run out of tissue and use your hand to clean your ass. You broke! When you run out of milk and use water for your cereal. You broke!
When you dry off with a t-shirt because you can't afford to get your towels washed.
You broke!
When you go next door and ask your neighbors for their Wi-Fi password.
Actually, we're actually in a tie with Connecticut because they're just as broke.
Yeah, but
the state of Connecticut's getting ready to file bankruptcy.
Connecticut is state.
Yeah, but Connecticut has an excuse. It was founded pretty much by baby boomers.
Right.
And now they're all
Connecticut's
dying off. There's no young kids.
Their
here.
fucking governor is a piece of shit.
Well,
Joe.
of course, there's that too. But
I got an interesting fact. Speaking about Connecticut,
Uh-oh.
the McMahons were actually born there. You keep it with our wrestling time.
no, that's awesome. I'm glad you segued back to it.
Yeah.
You know, wrestling time. The McMahons were born there, Connecticut.
Yeah, enough about
let me
politics.
tell you what happened. Vince McMahon is a genius. He is a genius. But now, y'all like the Attitude Era, so let's go to the Attitude Era.
Oh, no, it's just some drama.
Vince McMahon screwed Bret Hart. Now, this was real.
The
He was scared,
Montreal Screwjob.
Yeah, he was scared that Bret Hart would take the WWE Championship to WCW because he was going to WCW the next month. Well, Vince was afraid that he would go because maybe 2 months earlier, his women's champion actually on national TV in WCW, the rival promotion, actually dumped the women's championship in the trash.
Blaze.
On live TV.
Blaze.
Yep. Alleged Blaze. So Vince was afraid of that. So he did, even though Bret gave his word and all this stuff, Vince was afraid of that. So Vince said Bret didn't want to lose to Shawn Michaels, which is they hate each other on and off the screen. So what happened was they came up with a double cross. They call it wrestling a double cross, where Bret thought the outcome was going to be a disqualification. No, the referee, Shawn Michaels, his opponent at the time, they all were in a secret meeting saying, this is how we're going to screw it. You get him in a position where he's in like a submission position, like when you're going to counter his sharpshooter, then I'm going to call for the bell and ring the bell, even though he don't give up, and even though it ain't part of the script. Because Bret might think this is going to be a long match. Like I said, it's going to end in double disqualification. So
Right,
Bret didn't know that. So Vince, ended up talking to the other guys, the referee and Sean and a couple of announcers, and let them know this is what we're going to do, unbeknownst to Bret. His brother-in-law and his brother that worked there at the time in the same company, they would tell him, whatever you do, don't get on your back because we feel that you might get screwed. So don't get, for a fast 3 count or something. So don't get in a position to be on your back. They forgot to think about the submission part. So later in the match, first they followed him out of the ring for like 10, 15 minutes. Then they finally got back in the ring. A couple of moves later, Bret was going to sharpshooter, put him in. Shawn Michaels reversed it. And as soon as he reversed it, I'm talking about he barely got him turned over. And the referee called for the bell. Yep. Vince came down the ringside, so you knew it was going to be something because you never saw Vince at ringside unless he was doing commentating. But he came down and he hurried up and got Shawn Michaels out of there. They were in, keep in mind, they were in Montreal. Right. Bret Hart's own home country. So this place rioted. I mean, it was rioted. Bret ended up spitting in Vince's face. And this is all real. This is not K-Fab. And they got in the back. Yeah. They went in the back. And Vince said, he told his people, he said, look, I'm going to let him get one punch. He's entitled to one punch. After that, though, grab him. So Vince talked to him. And Vince thought he could talk it out and stuff. And Bret was in the shower saying, look, I'm just going to let you know I'm going to knock your lights out when I get out the shower. He's still and I mean, Bret was calm about it. He was just letting him know. Vince still stayed there. He said, I just want to apologize. I had to do, if you were in my situation, you would understand. And Bret knocked him out. He gave him a black eye. He came visibly leaving the locker room with a black eye. Now, he only got one punch because, Vince said he's entitled to one punch. And that's kind of Vince got. Vince he's a different guy. But, I mean, he knew what he did was bad, but he really had no choice in his position. At that time, he didn't think so. It's funny because Bret was filming on a documentary at the same time. So this got caught all on camera.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's on there. If you look at YouTube.
That happened. Yeah. How long did that happen?
It was in 97. 97,
yeah,
November.
How long did that happen after the curtain call? Remember the curtain call? They got everybody that got Triple H in trouble.
But that was a whole other thing. That was months before that. That was before Kevin Nash and Scott Hall, which was Diesel, Razor Ramon, went to Nitro.
Right.
And back then, Vince McMahon he wanted to play the role. So he had 2 groups of buses.
If you're a bad guy, you're a bad guy off camera.
Off camera too. You could not be seen with a good guy, which they call a babyface. A bad guy, which is called a heel in wrestling. Vince he wanted to play that role. Back in that day, it was serious. It was no, I don't want you to be seen with this guy. You know what I mean? I don't want, let's say, Radish and Rick Rude being seen with the Ultimate Warrior. These guys don't like each other. You got a heel and you got a babyface. So they had 2 different tour buses for heels,
for
babyfaces.
Yeah, I need another drink. This is
it's serious business.
I've always heard them be like, man, wrestling's like another soap opera.
Yeah.
Like sands through the hourglass, so are the days of our lives.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
But now since you brought that up, though, who remembers when WCW was getting ready to declare bankruptcy?
And the WWE stepped in?
Yeah, but Paul Heyman kept it quiet. But how many people remember the Dudley Boys trying to leave ECW with the ECW tag titles and bring them to WWE?
I remember that. No, I'm sorry. I remember that.
They defended them in a hardcore table match, or a hardcore match with Spike Dudley and whoever his tag partner is. And that's when they put Spike Dudley through 2 flaming tables. They stacked them up, set them on fire, and powerbombed them through.
Wow.
And I think that's when they tried to bring the tag titles over to WWE.
That was when they tried to do it, yeah.
And then somewhere in the early 90s, became WWE because of the farmers.
No. Worldwide Animal.
What they call it? Worldwide Life something.
It's something
World
to do with
Wildlife Foundation.
Yeah, World Wildlife. Yeah.
Okay.
They sued them over the WWE.
They did. Vince at that time didn't have copyrights to it.
No.
And that's where the problem came in. And, just one of those deals at that time during those days, they didn't worry about it, but it came back to bite them because they didn't license
how come it took them that long to sue?
Well,
they're getting big.
They were getting big. So they were, when they were small, it's nothing. But when people start saying WWF, they didn't want to think about their association. They would think about wrestling.
Right.
So that's when they say, hey, it's time to,
They sued for it.
They sued for it. So they changed it to WWE.
When it turned to WWE, is that when, because you guys are all talking about WCW.
Right. WCW, okay.
So when did those get involved? Because I always thought those were like other entities that no one ever bothered with.
NWA was another whole entire wrestling genre, including way back then.
NWA used to just be like the name of
TBS. They were on TBS.
Yeah, National Wrestling Alliance.
Yeah, and then you had Nitro, which was WCW, which was on TNT. And then you had WWF, who was on the USA Network.
Right.
Okay? And then TNT owned WCW. And they decided they were done. They didn't want to do it no more. And they quit putting money into it. So the WWE stepped in. Vince did. supposedly was Vince that stepped in, but turned out to be his son Shane, who bought WCW. He brought all the wrestlers over. Yeah.
I thought Stephanie bought WCW and Shane bought ECW.
But that was storyline. Vince actually bought it. That's how storyline.
So that makes sense.
Shane bought WCW, and then Stephanie bought ECW.
Because I remember I stopped watching wrestling, then I got a little back into it again, and there was that one black guy, Booker T.
Yeah. Booker T. Five times.
And he was part of WC.
He was WCW.
He was in WCW.
Yeah, he was WCW. He wasn't WWE.
He went to WWE. Once the doors closed. Once WCW closed,
I just remember somebody saying he's not WWE. That's another one.
He's a commentator for WWE now.
Well, yeah.
But, I mean, as a businessman, though, Vince was smart.
Yeah.
Because he went in there and he purposely shut down NWA, saying that we're going to book bigger guys, bigger matches. And we would take this.
Wasn't NWA just actual wrestlers with just that?
Now, you just made my point.
Now, see, when wrestling first was getting big, in the 30s and 40s.
30 minutes! And so with that introduction, these two big giants come out of their corners. On the left, Cowboy Davis, 230 pounds. Terry McGinnis, 218 on the right. They receive that inspection to see if their bodies have been greased by the referee.
There used to be, each one had their own hub. Like in the Midwest, they had, what was it?
It was regional.
Yeah,
Everything was regional.
Yeah.
So you had like 2 or 3 states in your region. That was it.
Yeah.
And then it was
and
the
you
McMahons.
did not cross over.
McMahons start buying everything.
Yeah,
all the
it was
regions.
the McMahons who said, we're going to make this global, and we're going to start stealing acts from other regions.
Because when you think of NWA, WCW, think of the South.
Right.
WWF was Northeast regions. All the Northeast, Madison Square, New York. So the South, Memphis, you had all that. But NWA, how I like to break them down is WWF had the storylines, the gimmicks. You know what I mean? NWA had the pure wrestling. I mean, you want just good 60-minute matches, you watch Ric Flair, Steamboat, Ric Flair, Sting, Ric Flair, Lex Luger. You wanted quick 15-minute matches, but you had glitz and glamour, you had the show, you had the great storylines, you watched WWF. Hulk Hogan would beat his opponent in 15 minutes.
Right.
Big boot, leg drop.
Yeah.
Matches over with. But so I compared both of them. So I like both of them. I got my, it filled both my needs watching NWA and watching WWF. They own different time slots at the time before the Monday Night Wars. And you could get your fix for both of them. But then it became the Monday Night Wars. When it was actually on the same time.
On the same night.
Same night. That's what they call Monday Night Wars. It was WCW versus WWF.
Yeah.
I had two TVs into my living room.
Get TJ a drink, everybody. Get TJ a drink.
In fact, I think TJ's ignoring her other customers.
I literally would move I had 2 TVs in my living room for wrestling.
Yeah.
Because they actually would do pay-per-views on the exact same night.
TJ, can I just go close the door of the bar?
Yeah, we closed for business.
Just lock it up.
I literally had 2 TVs in my living room because they were both on at the same time.
Yeah.
There we go.
And when he was talking about the night that WWF took over WCW, and I had the 2 TVs in the living room, right? We're watching them both.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there looking at it, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, oh, this ain't gonna be good. This ain't gonna be good at all. That was the night they closed WCW down.
And that was the night wrestling changed forever because I can't even watch the current product now. When I watch I got WWE Network only for the old stuff, the nostalgic stuff. I watch all the old shows because you can get all the old shows. Only for $9.99, by the way. That's the WWE plug. That's the WWE plug. I know.
Look, they're not sponsoring us. You can say their name.
But anyway, now while we talking about the nostalgia of everything, what's your favorite wrestlers? Okay, we have to pick NWA, WCW, WWF. If you can name me your 5, let's go with 5. Your 5 favorite wrestlers or top wrestlers that you like to watch, that you would pay money. You would get a front row ticket and watch them fight a squash match. That's how much you like these guys. That much. That's what you'll do. Not because they'll give you a great match sometimes. Sometimes you like the image, the look.
Well, that's it for the first installment of the Wrestling Series on the Miscellaneous TAP. Tune in next week for the next part.